Hello, friends. Myself Abhinav Gupta, and I am a professional interior designer. I have been into this industry from almost 15 years now, and the journey has been super exciting. I'm starting this channel for all the upcoming aspirants or the students who are planning to choose interior designing as a career. And as you are already seeing, that channel name is Interior Huddle. So I'll be here to basically help them, guide them, and also to learn from them. If they need any help from me, if they need any sort of support or guidance from me, they can surely contact me through the comment channel, through the comment box. And the sole purpose of the channel is only to help the upcoming students who are planning to choose interior designing as their career. So, uh, going forward, the very first thing which I would be saying that the very first confusion, rather, which comes in the mind of students when they want to choose these careers, like what to choose and how to enter into the field of interior designing, it starts from the two names, that is architecture and interior designing. So these are the two terminologies which are very common, and generally students get confused into, like, either they will be realizing it later on, or they would be not understanding it in the very beginning while choosing their careers, while choosing their courses or the programs, that are they choosing the right program or not. So to provide that clarity about, I have put it across that what happens. So moving forward, before moving forward, I would like to add two more fields here into, that are civil engineer and another one is interior decorator. These are two more fields which actually comes into the mind of a student while choosing these careers. All these four careers belongs to home designing. And now moving forward, we will be discussing about, like, how we should choose and what are the questions which are very basic or very general questions which comes in, even in my mind if I would be a student. So what are the basic questions to start with? So first of all, we need to understand what is the main difference between these professions and what they mainly do. Is After that, the another question is that, am I choosing the right career path, and is this what I am really interested in? And after that, would I be able to pursue this as a full-time career? These are the very basic main questions. Apart from these, there might be a hundred of more questions in different sort of approach and different sort of thinking. I would be happy if you can comment me and for your further questions if you are not able to figure those questions out. But I have tried my level best to provide you the queries and related data, related elaboration about the different fields within the ppt itself, so that you will be getting a majority of clarity on the choosing of the right career for you. So going forward, what does a civil engineer do? So to be very precise, civil engineer basically designs the wireframe of the building or the structure. They also calculate the BOM, that is bill of material, and apart from that, bill of quantities. These two processes, these two annexures are really very important while constructing bigger structures like a bridges, like a group housing society, or you can say like any of the huge structures. These two documents, these two annexures are really very important because they provides projection about the overall expense. So I hope you have ever you have seen a lot of times the tenders or the government projects which belongs to the construction or to the infrastructure development of the city or the country. So those sort of projects, the huge scale, the like a gigantic scale projects, are really very thoroughly studied and analyzed by civil engineers, and civil engineers play a vital role, crucial role in those sort of projects. Above all these pointers, about apart from these, civil engineer also ensures the structural stability and strength of the structures. So they are basically related to the wireframe, to the structures, to the strength, to ensuring the proper structural designing, to ensure the beam, that is basically the wireframe of the structures. And apart from that, the next designation, the next profession which comes in our mind while choosing the career is architect. So what does an architect do? So to be precise, I have actually described all these designations, all these professions with a precise information, so that you should be getting a fairer idea. And I will recommend you to, after all these pointers, after you see my video, you can go through Google, because there is a lot of information available all throughout through the web, and it will be a lot more easier. And even if you could not find any information which is related to the field, you can definitely reach out to me via comment section. I'll be glad to help you out. So to precisely describe about the architect position or architect profession, architect basically deals in space planning. Apart from that, the MEP layout means the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing layout of the building. Next comes anthropometry. So anthropometry is a technical terminology which basically describes about that how to plan the space, keeping in mind the right amount of circulation as per the human body. So if you study a master bedroom, let's say for an example, so there has to be a certain amount of space in the bedroom around the bed. Okay, we can block one wall by putting the bed onto the wall, adjacent to the wall, or like um, just attached to the wall. But all the other three sides has to be provided with a proper circulation space. Otherwise, it would be difficult for a user to basically use the bed and the room in the right manner. So these are certainly the plannings which are done by under anthropometry, the circulation space. To understand it more better, anthropometry also is related to the space planning of, let's say, if there is a kitchen which is being designed or which is being planned by an architect, and kitchen is also connected to the utility. So architect will take care of the things that utility is properly circulated and properly uh, approachable from the kitchen itself. So these are sort of the basic principles of anthropometry. And apart from that, ventilation, which is a very important point for any sort of building, even it is commercial building, even it is residential building, even if it is a non-commercial building, or a co-working space, or a big huge mall. So see, this is seriously, ventilation is certainly a very important point which is required to be taken care. And apart from that, another point is liaising. So what does liaising means? Liaising is basically all the document related work which are required to get the building approved, and all the confirmation and the certification issues from the local authority or the government. So basically architects take care of all those background works also. Apart from this, this is a very common and very well-known point about the facade designing, that is the elevation phase designing. So any of the building which you can see nowadays having beautiful facades, beautiful elevations, they are all being designed by an architects. So architect provide these sort of inputs as well. And last but not the least, material selection and their schedules. When you see any of the beautiful elevation, there are a lot of combination of materials, different materials like fundermax, like aluminum composite panel, even glasses, even more number of metal work. So all these works, all those kind of accessorization of the elevational facades are being done and suggested by the architects only. And architects also provide you the schedule of those material. Schedule of material means that when and by what time the material should be getting installed according to the design proposal. So these are some of the very main and basic points which an architect basically puts a major role into. Now moving forward to the next role, which is interior decorator. Interior decorator basically do not provide you a lot of customizations, and they will not be providing you, you can say, they cannot fulfill you with the very specific demands out of the space. Apart from that, they basically suggest you accessories, they basically suggest you a lot of articles like a lampshade, like a planters, like all those other things which can be added into the room to provide you a better aesthetics. And apart from that, an interior decorator also provides you more of these suggestions on furniture. Now when we talk about furniture, furniture has basically two main categories, that is loose furniture and fixed furniture. So an interior decorator provides you the clarity on how to choose your loose furniture, like sofa, like coffee chair, coffee table, like you can say all those furniture which is movable. So they provides you a lot of idea on the furniture choosing, furniture selection, what will look good, which shape will look good in fact. And they generally provide you a sort of makeover. And also they help you in choosing the right color palette. Let's suppose if you are having a existing pre-existing space, and you are feeling that it is appearing to be very dull, and you want to add some pop into the space, you want to add some jazz, so you can hire an interior decorator, and he will be going to help you a lot about like how to choose a peppy furniture and to add some sort of, you can say, cheerfulness into that space. So these sort of additions and top-ups are being done by interior decorator, but they are not going to do a lot of customizations. They can add few things, they can reduce few things, they can basically mix and match your interiors, but they're not going to develop any new thing for your space. So these are the three professions which we talk about. Now comes an interior designer. So what basically an interior designer do? So interior designer, when we talk about, they first of all provide you the optimum use of the space. They not only make the 3D model, they not only analyze the space, but they also visits the site. They also gets a maximum clarity about, and they take all your very specific and detailed requirement as a user, what you want from that space, what you actually want to change towards, and like even they discuss about the future plan of the space as well. Let's suppose if you have a family of four, and a family of four will be having like there is a husband, there is a wife, and there are two parents. Or let's take an example of if husband wife with two kids. Now if a kid is one kid is like you can say 10 years of age, and another kid is of 5 years of age. So an interior designer will take care of that. Whenever you are getting your home designed by a designer, they will be asking you even for further 5 year further planning, that okay, after 5 years your both the kids will be having a 5 year add-ons. So a 5 year old kid will be requiring a space according to the 10 years of age, and the kid who is right now 10 year will become a teenager. So they will be designing according to all those future prospects also into the plan, and thus saving a lot of costing, providing you the customized space, and you can say the dream space which you are asking for or which you are thinking about. So not only about this, they will be taking care of all the functionality of the space as well. And they definitely, as a designer, they have to provide you better aesthetics, no doubt about that. And going forward, all these will be done by the proper balancing of lights and colors. So they will be choosing right color palette also for a specific space. If there is a more ample amount of natural light coming in, they will be actually dissolving it through some you can say some oxidized colors, or some of the colors which look much more beautiful in the natural light reflection. So they also takes care about the shine level of the surfaces. They also take care about the material finishes, and they will be taking care about the backgrounds, that is the paints and all the color palettes or the textures of the space included. So these are few of the pointers which I will be which I have told you about what does actually interior designer duty belongs to. Now, what is the right time to hire a designer and how to start the design procedure? This is specifically a question for a user, for a consumer, which should be actually given as an education by a designer. That they should educate their clients that when is the right time to hire a designer, and how they can actually initiate the designing procedure. So the very first point, which is I would rather say that every client should be aware of that when they are constructing the building, if it is a new building, they should hire a designer right from the stage of when they have finalized their layout with an architect. And let's say, to be more precise, when the structure of the building is almost completed with the RCC work and the brick work has been started, that is the exact right stage. Like before plastering, before the brick wall is completed, before doors and windows are being being fixed, but after the RCC working has been done, that is the most perfect time to get an interior designer into the picture. So now, how will it going to help an interior designer or the consumer or the user? So basically, what happens when when the user is when the building builder is done with the RCC structure, they start doing the brick working. Brickwork includes walling. Brickworks include all the partitioning of the space, and brickwork also includes the fitment of doors and windows. And post all this brickwork is done, the plastering starts, and before plastering, there will be all the marcation of electrical and plumbing points. So these all go hand in hand, like MEP and the plastering. These go hand in hand. So all these pointers are majorly being planned by an architect initially. But if an interior designer also come into the picture at the very same point of time, so how it will be going to help and a designer and a user also, which is actually going to use that space. Because what happens when a architect has already concluded the final layout with the user, so a designer now can develop the 3D model. And as soon as they starts developing a 3D model, a user can actually imagine, can actually visualize how finally how much the space is going to be, how it is going to look, and what are the choices available according to their family and their taste and their lifestyle. So they will be having much more clearer picture of the overall outcome. So that is why they can basically putting across the right expectations in the very initial stage of the building. That is one. Second, designer will be taking care of the requirements and the special, you can say, the very specific demands of the users. So circulation space, and next is ergonomics. Designer will also take care about the ergonomics of the every single piece of furniture. Let's say if you want to have a study table in a room, and simultaneously you also want to have a sofa cum bed or a double bed in the room. So a designer will be taking care of all those ergonomic parts. That okay. In taking care of about the circulation space, the right ergonomics should be fitted in, so that the furniture should not be making health issues in going forward. And apart from that, these are the few of the pointers. And last but not the least, the design theme. A designer will also provide you the right design theme according to the space, according to the light, according to the user, and according to the lifestyle of the user. So basically, lifestyle. What do you mean by a lifestyle? So let's take an example, a very basic example of, let's take say a boy who is 22 years old and wants to go in a tech field. So he might be having certainly a different choices or a different requirements in when we talk about the study table only, when compared to a person who wants to go into the field of art or a designing. So these are a very basic thing. Now to elaborate it more, when we talk about a techie person who wants to go into the tech field, he will not be requiring a major workstation, a major workspace. Okay, he will not be requiring a study table with, you can say, more depth. He will be requiring only the space to put on his notepad and a laptop, not more than that. Apart from that, you can say like one or two speakers for some audio effect. But when we talk about an artist or a designer, he would be requiring more space to put on big sheets, big chart papers, when he wants to draw, when he wants to sketch, when he wants to have a better idea of some of the figures. So basically, apart from putting up on the laptop or a computer, he will also be requiring some more space for doing the artwork, for doing some sketches. So these are the very basic points which a designer takes care about. So that is why for a designer it is always important to understand and to study and to capture the details in the very initial stage of about each and every user, that what is the space requirement is and how it is going to be used. I hope I have cleared you the majority of doubts, and I have provided you the clarity about what basically functions and how these roles actually functions. So now, I would like to thank all of you for your time. And if you have any query, just paste your comment below and do let me know. And I will be trying to put across and answer your queries as soon as possible for me. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. Thank you.